Ladies and gentlemen, joining me today is a legendary guitar player. He was the lead guitarist of the Michael Stanley Band from the late 70s until 1985. He's had a string of top 40 hits. He was at the birth of music television, had attendance records throughout the heartland. He's the one, the only, Gary Markasky. Gary, it's a pleasure having you here today. Thank you so much for coming up here.
It's all mine, Chris. It's my pleasure.
I've seen you play live twice, and it's always been a pleasure watching you. And I'm very excited to have you here today.
It's great to be here. When you guys came down to that Boston concert that we had at the Cellar in Youngstown, Ohio, it was Struthers, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great to see you. And you were so enthusiastic, you and Tom.
Yeah.
And then I seen the video that you posted on it. Oh, I said, yeah, we got to come up here and do something. You invited us. And
yep, thank you. Great. We love classic rock, and we appreciate the music that you guys have made for thousands of fans. Yeah. So let's start off with, before you were with Michael Stanley, before you had your band Coconut, let's start off at the very beginning, when you first picked up your first guitar and said, yeah, this is right for me.
I'll tell you, here's how it all happened. I was going to St. Christine's High School, grade school, I mean, with Phil Kagi of the Glass Harp, if you remember him. He's one of the greatest guitarists on the planet, Phil. And I was walking home from school with him all the time, and I would go over to his house, and he had these old Mosrites, and he was playing adventure songs and all that, and he was a monster then, phenomenal. I said, man, I got to do this. This is great. So we used to keep walking home from school together. He'd stop over my house on the way home because we walked like it was about almost a mile from the school. We walked home from school every day together. So he came over, and my father had an old guitar from the Army, an acoustic guitar, and he would show me stuff on that, and I would try to practice, and then that was the beginning of the end. I said, oh, I got to do this. Okay. And ever since then, I've just been following the way he played in that. And then there was other people that went to school with us down there too. Myron Grumbacher from Pat Benatar, the drummer.
Okay, wow.
He was with me. We all went to school together. John Safira was the drummer with the Glass Harp.
Cool.
Another great friend. Danny Pecchio was the bass player with the Glass Harp, and then went with Michael Stanley.
Yeah. So you have great roots right here.
We'll get into that down the road. And this is how it all started, and then I started actually helping out the Glass Harp, doing the roading and everything with him, with Jam Sound, with John Markovich, Jimmy Markovich, who had Jam Sound, and all the other guys that were involved with them, Dave Turpak with Special Light, and we all started just growing with this whole thing, and it just grew out, you know, like a tree. And they went their way, I went my way, and
but it's the right pathway for you, because it really built into something great for you.
And then they had the Glass Harp was going, and I started my band Coconut, which was a lot of Billy Collintone, who from Youngstown, Ohio, was with a group called Left End before that. Myron and I stole him from Left End, I think, and we started our own group, and it turned into be Coconut, and that went on for years and years, and we had all the musicians from Youngstown. It seems like all the best ones were in and out of Coconut through those years. Even B. Taylor out of PA, you know, Bill Taylor. Bill Taylor was with us for a year and a half. Okay. And Herman Granati from the Granati Brothers, the G-Force. They're from Pittsburgh too. You probably know of him. Okay, them. And even Wild Cherry people.
Wild Cherry.
We were all in the same clique. We all played the same shows, all the same clubs down in West Virginia, in Pittsburgh, Youngstown, all of us,
Now, I have to ask you, where's Coconut come from? What's the meaning behind that?
Well,
because we're not an island area, and that's
because it was like we were a rock and roll, but we were soul too. Okay. So it was like the chocolate with the vanilla. You know what I mean? Yeah. The coconut inside, and with the groove, the soul on the outside. Which that was the whole concept of Coconut, and that's why we call it that.
Because we have a picture of here.
Yeah. Here's a picture of us.
Right here.
In fact, this is the initial band.
Okay, now which one is you here?
I'm in the middle right there. Okay,
very cool.
I was like 21, 20 right then. This is Jose Ortiz from Cleveland, Ohio. Mike Joyce from Cleveland, who's now in, I think Jose's in Florida, or no, I think Hawaii. He was with Airto for a while, a fusion band. Okay. This is the greatest groove drummer I ever, he was like one of the, just a the reason that I really get into the groove and the funk things and all that, using the Jose and Billy Colantone, who was the lead singer, who sings like Felix Cavalier, all those guys put together. Paul Rogers, oh, he's just great. Journey, Billy could sing anything. And Armin DiGenova, he was our first keyboard player. He's from Youngstown, he's playing with a jazz band out there now. And Mike Joyce, who's a great singer also and writer. Bass player, he's in Nashville now, and I'm not sure who he's working with, but he bounces around everywhere in the studios.
Is this early 70s, late 60s? When?
Like 71, 72.
Okay,
71.
so right around the turn.
Yeah, and then B. Taylor came about 72, 73 later, and with the Granati Brothers when we started changing our people. But
okay, yeah, that's cool.
This was a great band.
Yeah, this
really
is history right here.
I tell you, I do have some recordings of them at Peppermint Productions in Youngstown, Ohio, that we can get from Gary Ramey's studio. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's good.
Now, after this, you got to work with Michael Stanley, the Michael Stanley Band, in about 1978-ish with Cabin Fever. What was the process? How did you become involved with them?
Well, what happened is Coconut and Michael Stanley, we all played the regional areas, and we did the Agoras and everything, and we used to play every Christmas with them up at Shaker Heights, and that's how we were all like sort of friends, and we'd open up, and then they'd headline, and in fact, their road manager, Jim Sophis, was the brother of our bass player, Michael Sophis. Okay, so that's how we were still all.
Yeah, everyone's always
and
connected.
We all used the same sound company, Jam Sound, which was John Markovich and those guys. We used them, Michael used them, and we all knew each other. But Michael was already happening, he was really hitting it big. So when Jonah decided to leave, and go on his own solo career and that, they came and saw me and they said, Gary, you want the gig, you can have it. So this is at the Tomarco, the Youngstown Agora in Youngstown, the old State Theater. He said, Gary, if you want to come, let's do it. And I said, all right. And so I had to leave my own band.
Yeah, was that hard leaving Coconut
hard.
and then going to something?
But it already happened. What had happened is we already had a record deal coming. David Spiro was our manager then, and then that changed over. Mike Belkin approached us, and we went in, and he made a couple phone calls. Next thing I know, we were with Arista Records. Clive Davis was on the phone. We went up to New York, Bob and I, and Mike, the whole band. And this was before Kevin was in the band or anything. And we auditioned right in his office in New York City.
That's
It's
awesome.
really cool. Just an acoustic guitar and some piano. And we did the initial songs. I think it was Misery Loves Company, Why Should Love Be This Way, and another one. I'm not sure exactly. But we did that. And Clive said, man, okay, let's do it.
And you're signed right then and there.
A 2-year deal, yeah. And then we'll pick it up. We'll renegotiate after 2 years, which was all great. And so next thing I know, a couple phone calls. We were going to go on to Muscle Shoals. Then we were down in Florida. Then we were over in Canada. And the next thing you know, all of a sudden, Mutt Lang came in the picture.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Mutt Lang.
Yeah, Robert Jan Lang, who was just brand new, up and coming. He was living in South Africa. And he hooked up, and we hooked up with him in England, and we had to fly our equipment over out of Canada. Okay, over to England, because we didn't have working papers yet. We were still in the process of putting it together to get the equipment over there. And in time, and this was back in, I think it was like February or late January.
Okay, and this was for the...
This is of 79,
for
I think it was,
the Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever album, I'm sorry, yeah. And next thing you know, here we are in England, muddy, grand old England. It was just great. And it was in South Wales that we started. It was Rockfield Studios, where Queen did Bohemian Rhapsody, and Elton John did Yellow Brick Road. A lot of great stuff was done there. With Peter Kelsey, who was the engineer there too, and Mutt Lang. And Mutt was brand new then. He was just, he had a couple things in the fire. Huey Lewis and the News.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they sent him their first endeavor too, and all that. And we were at the same time doing our thing, yeah. And it was all great. And he was bouncing back and forth from London to, it was like a couple-hour drive to Rockfield in South Wales. And we were always bounced back and forth. And Matt said, Garrett, come on, let's go. We got to go. We got to mix this thing down in London. And then we'll come back. And we worked 16 hours a day, Bob and I and him, just 4-track and stuff, and just really extensive fine-tuning and tweaking everything to make sure. That album, we did a lot of work on it. We learned a lot, all of us, especially him, and from him.
What would you say is the one thing that you would say you took away from working with Mutt Lang? Like the one thing, if you had to say, this is what I really got out of it, the best thing. Because he's an amazing rock producer.
Mutt what he had ideas, a concept and ideas. He would always have some, wait, let's try this. What if we did something like this, something different, just to make it interesting all the time. And we kept bouncing off each other all the time, and that was the greatest trait. You know, he was a good engineer, not the greatest, but you know, he would always, well, let's do something like this out of here nowhere, you know, and it was just great. He always had an idea, boom, 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 and it made it all new and interesting. If you listen to that Cabin Fever album, there's so many little cool things that we did throughout it, all the way through it. It's just, yeah, and ever since then, I've always thought like that from then on, about how to write songs, how to, you know, approach them with the right attack and delivery and all that, yeah.
And that's great to be able to work with him on your first album with the band that worked with such a high caliber producer.
He was the greatest producer I've worked with. Next to Peter Kelsey, I always liked him too. He did some, we got along too. He was quiet, but he still had ideas. We worked with Eddie Kramer, who was he built Electric Ladyland. He did all that stuff with Hendrix and all that.
Yeah.
Eddie did the North Coast album. Yeah, that was a great thing too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now I want to ask you about getting into a little bit about music TV. Fast forward a few years from Cabin Fever. You had He Can't Love You music video.
Okay.
I watched the video. And this guitarist in the video, and my favorite part is when you come out in the wheelchair and you're rocking out, and then you stand up and you go crazy. And looking back, well, that was the 47th video ever played on MTV, correct?
Yeah, it was all in the early stages of that, because Nina Blackburn, she was an old friend that used to always come to the shows at the Agora in Cleveland, and then she moved up to New York and got involved in all this, and she was like really instrumental in getting us right into that, right on the ground floor of that, the MTV stuff. And
but how's it for you to look back 30 years and see yourself in these videos? What kind of emotions does that bring out for you? Are you
it's still cool. It's just funny. It's a little corny now because things have changed, you know.
But in the day, I mean, that was awesome.
That was hip. It was cool. And it was a cool little thing. In fact, Michael's wife, God bless her soul, she just passed away. She was the nurse pushing me in on the wheelchair. And, she just she was real instrumental, because she was with EMI United Artists, that was the company we were with at the time. Okay, this is after we left Arista. Okay, and she was. That's how Michael met her, and the magic occurred then.
So it was
he wrote Spanish Nights about her.
Okay.
Yeah, if you know that song. Yeah. Anyway, off the Greatest Hits album. Yeah.
Okay.
But.
And then another video that I watched of yours is called "Strike Up the Band," and you come out, and I don't know how to describe it. Okay, but you come out in this outfit, and you're very energetic, and you're doing all these motions, and I think you call yourself the Ant. Am I correct?
It was the Atomic Ant. This is before Adam Ant.
Okay.
You know, it was just, you know, we were like a year before that. And it was just a funny thing that I did on a Halloween date that we did when I first came with the Michael Stanley Band. And I think that was up at Hiram College when we played at Hiram. Yeah, and I came out, it was on Halloween Eve, and I came out like that, and the next thing I know.
Yeah, because you have like a whole different persona when you're going
Next thing I know, I was on the back of the album cover. Mike Belkin and Jules Belkin really liked it. And I was just like this. The Ant costume, and here's the shoes and everything.
Now, do you still put this on
I
from
still
time to
have
time?
them. They should be hanging in the Hall of Fame up in Cleveland with the rest of the MSB memorabilia.
Now, do you still wear those in concert at special occasions?
No, they keep bringing Rady into the picture, and I can't. No, but that was then. It was, in fact, we did the encores everywhere, all over the country, promoting the Cabin Fever album with that at the end of the night on the encore shows. And we did it. I did it with Cheap Trick and everything. We used to go up to Who the King and that, and we toured a lot of dates with them. Foreigner, who else? Eddie Money, Seeger, a lot of shows. Kenny Loggins. Oh Christ. Jeff Beck.
Wow.
Well, we can show you all.
Yeah, that's amazing talent.
Heart.
Wow.
Keep going.
Now, talking about live shows, I have seen you twice. I saw you when you opened up for Fran Cosmo down at the Cellar a few weeks back, and I saw you over the summer at McMenemy's open for Eddie Money.
Right.
And both times, you have such a stage persona where you connect with the audience. Where sometimes when you go to the show, the audience is one separate, and then the performer separate, and the two never meet and they never connect. But every show I've gone to of yours, everyone always connects, and there's that connection. Well, what's your secret? How do you give such a high energy connecting show? What's the secret?
I just think the people we need to be intimate with the people, our audience. If you're feeling this song, you need them to feel it, and that's how you get your response back and forth. And it's always been like that with anybody that's got passion and loves their music and wants to play and spread the love. That's all, and that's how it occurs. You can feel it. You can feel the aura in the room.
So it's like a give and take.
Yeah.
You get off them, and then you give it back.
It's just I've been doing this for so long, a long time. How long is it? 45 years now? 40,
wow.
Yeah. And it's automatic now. It's just, anywhere we play, we always seem to achieve that and deliver that to our audience.
I want to ask you a little bit about songwriting, because one of my favorite songs is Somewhere in the Night that you guys have with Michael Stanley. And there's a lyric that goes, 17 caught between what I was and wanted to be. And I connected, when I heard that song.
I was looking at no one, and no one was looking
exactly,
at me.
Yeah. And I connected with that song, and there's that connection, that meaningfulness. How do you incorporate that into your music? Does it just kind of happen, or do you really
it was
work
great.
at it?
Michael wrote that song, and
Okay.
he was the one. And he's talking about his teenage days and his love, and I think where he met his first wife. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Hills. Yeah. And that's what that was all about. And it just we approached that song right. He just came in on an acoustic guitar playing it, and like this.
All right, here we go.
Well, I'm telling you what, we might do this for you in the
That's it.
17.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Dunk's gonna do that when he gets
That's
that.
nice. I love that song. That's awesome.
Michael just came in with that, like that, and then the band came in and we beefed it up. We started hitting
So it just kind of happened.
yeah, and it was good.
The
magic
creativity
was
that
there.
you
It
were.
was automatic. That song just fell together. Yeah, I still love playing it, and we do it all the time. Every night we gig.
Yeah.
In fact, we might do a little bit when Dunk gets here. Maybe he should come in and sing it.
All right, yeah, I like it. Let's do it.
Right now?
Well, let's finish up here.
Okay.
But another song of yours that I love is Lover. That was on the...
And there's another one he's going to probably...
Yeah, that was... Because it talks about snow in the beginning, the four-letter word we don't like around here. And, it starts off in... But that's a very meaningful song, too.
That song was written... we were right in the middle of writing. We were tracking all the stuff, the demos, for the Heartland album right then, because we had just left Arista, okay? And we were going to do this on our own. And then we sold it to EMI United Artists. But in the meantime, we were doing all the demos in my studio at my house in Youngstown. And it was in the wintertime, and it was one of the worst snowstorms. And God, and those guys had to come back and forth on the turnpike, the Ohio Turnpike, on 80. You couldn't even see the road, and that's what that's all about. Thank God for the white lines on the highway.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it might
well,
be
up here at
something
Edinboro,
else,
we know. Yeah, right with you with the lakefront effect.
And we needed that verse. We needed another verse, and Michael, it came up right on the driving, because, oh my God, thank God for these white lines. We'd never be able to get.
And it falls right in there, right there.
And that's Michael threw that right into the song, and we did it. And that was the demo of the songs there. And then when we finally got the contract with United Artists, we went in and really did it up good. But it's a beautiful song. One of my favorites of Michael's.
Yeah. And I've heard you play it a few times.
Oh, yeah.
I love it live. It's better.
We do it. We do all those good stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Now,
great song, Michael. You know it.
Now, back in, I want to say 1979, July 20th, you set the record at Richfield Coliseum, correct?
Right.
Attendance over 20,000, which is about 3 times the size of
It was like
Edinboro
24,000.
Oh, wow, even bigger.
Yeah, really. That was the sellout. That's the capacity the fire marshal
Really?
have, yeah. And it was over the Stones, because they
Really?
upped it a little bit. It used to be like 21, 22. They upped it because they must have made it a little more seating capacity, yeah.
What's that even look like, 24,000 people? How do you prepare for something that large? I mean, with us, we just have 3 cameras. I couldn't imagine doing this in 20.
It's just, I'm telling you, that was probably one of the biggest shows we played initially when I was with the band. And I was standing next to Danny Pecchio when he was still with us. I said, Dan, this is what it's all about right here, man. That's it. If we don't go any further, it was all worth it all the time, and then the thing just rolled on after that to catapult further and further and further and further. We were playing Central Park in New York with 500,000 people. That's whole nother ballpark, and all the stadiums, Milwaukee Stadium, Silverdome, Astrodome, Superdome. We played them all with Journey, Cheap Trick, all of us.
And we have some.
We were all touring at the same time. We were all hitting. Journey was hitting with. What was it? All that Journey album had all those hits on it, and we had "He Can't Love You," and Cheap Trick had "I Want You to Want Me," and all that. And we used to have a blast. We played football in the stadiums and everything.
Hanging out with
crazy.
these.
It was great.
Now
it
we
was
do
just
have
great.
some of the on here, some of your bills that you had.
Oh, hold on.
Clear some of this off here, because you were talking Cheap Trick. They're right here, and then
Can you see this?
let's see. We have
Do we
Eddie
need to
Money.
hold it up?
All right. So who all we got here?
Oh,
We got Cheap Trick.
Here's Eddie Money
Eddie
openers
Money.
for here. Cheap Trick, Jack Bruce, Jeff Beck. Okay, here's when Johnny Cougar opened for us.
Oh, excellent.
Mellencamp. Okay, Billy Joe opened
we
for
have
us. Here's
Kiss
some
down
Peter
here.
Kiss.
And then this is you guys down
Frampton.
here. This is an old picture of you right back in the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
That was. I think that was Blossom. Toto. Keep going. There's just. This is just some of them.
Yeah,
Kansas.
this is a great collection. that you have.
Kansas, Foreigner. What else? God, there's all kinds. Anyway.
Yeah.
Heart. That was Heart. Chicago Fest up in Chicago, right on the water. That was a 3-day festival. God, it was, I don't know, 250,000 people. I don't know. But all these.
So that's where you get all your experience for live music and
Yeah, I've played all these venues many times. Not once. The Palladium, the Cow Palace, Bill Graham's place, all the Greek theaters all the way up in San Diego, L.A. and that. We did a lot of days with Kenny Loggins, Al Di Meola. Yeah, what a crazy bill. Us, Al Di Meola and Kenny Loggins.
this is such a great collection of history that you have
Mini tour. Yeah.
with your career. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you, you've created so many different songs that have meaning and just so much emotion in them, from Lover to Somewhere in the Night to Heartland. What song, if you had to pick just one, would you pick as your, let's say, capstone to your musical career? The one that you would say, this is what defines me as a musician.
I don't know. I can't.
No?
I don't know. They all do.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a piece of me in all of them.
Okay.
I can't say which of them. I really love all of them. I really do. And I really loved the solo I did in England on Why Should Love Be This Way, a song that Bob Plander had written. Okay, that Michael sang. What a great job on it. Yeah.
Your heart and soul is in every song. That's what I love about you.
When I did that, it was with like a bunch of the London Philharmonic did the strings behind that. And I had to play the solo behind all these great players. They were monsters. And I was only 27 then. I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. And it came off so good. And I really, that was just great the way Mutt captured that. On that whole song was beautiful. That was the first single that Clive Davis was going to release.
Okay.
Why Should Love Be This Way? It was the single, I think. And then after that, it was Misery Loves Company or something. But anyway.
Yeah.
Now, fallen in love.
We have a book here that you recently.
Oh, yeah.
This is kind of your history, all going out. So, what's the story behind this book? Where?
I have to first right here. A great friend of ours who always comes and sees us, Sharon Clark. Okay, she came a couple weeks ago up and handed to me this as a gift. It was all the stuff that. We had done in the last year or so in the pictures that Cindy Wafton, who does all our marketing and everything for us, she's like, forget, she wears all the hats. And she did all the pictures and had it all on the Facebook page. Sharon took this and put a binder on it and everything, UPC code and everything. And
there's the guitar in the back, right?
Yeah.
This one right
that's
here?
This one.
There we go, right on the back.
Right there.
Very nice.
Yeah, baby.
Now, does this start off with Coconut? Did we go through all the years?
Yeah, this is a great book. It starts
Love
off
that
right
picture.
here. That's our Facebook picture. If you can zoom in on that, I don't know. Yeah.
We get that? Gary right here.
Yeah, and it just tells the story of the whole thing.
So we start off, here's Coconut, right?
Here's Coconut. Then they went to Michael Stanley. Here's me right here, Michael
and that's
Stanley.
the North Coast.
Yeah, it's North Coast album, yeah, cover.
Gotcha.
This is Guitar Player magazine. covering that.
Wow.
Okay, and this is how we went. And then we had the this is the with Jeff Berger. Okay, on drums. Okay, here's when Jill came in. Okay.
So this is
just
what
keeps going. Yeah,
currently
this
the
is how
Gary
the
Markasky
band.
Project.
Yeah, it keeps evolving. You know, you can go through it. Just like 15 pages here.
So your life and your history is captured in the book.
Here's New York Music. The closing of that. That's great.
Now, do we have any pictures
Everybody
from
knows
the
that place in Youngstown, Ohio.
from any of the attendance record events whenever you played in Richfield Coliseum? Any
yeah.
pictures in there?
Right here. This right here.
Oh, DVD.
Yeah, that's the DVD. Oh,
Okay, I have
that's
seen
the
some of
live,
this on
this is the
YouTube.
this is that show.
Okay.
And this is us here. We sold it out for like 4 days.
Oh, we got the music video on here too.
Oh yeah, everything's
You
right
can
on
love
there. You
it,
can
right?
play it. You can run it on the back of this. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we could edit it in, huh?
Right, magic of television. And
here,
then here's everyone on the
yeah,
back.
you can zoom in on this.
Now, where are you at along here?
Right in the middle, right there.
Oh, right in the middle. Perfect.
Yeah, that's my water skiing days when I was like, I was buffed up. Man.
Right.
I was like skiing my brains out all the time. We were barefooting and everything, going crazy.
That's,
oh yeah.
That's very cool that you have this.
Yeah. There you go, babe.
All right.
You got it?
All right. Now, the closeout, I want to ask you, because you have been all over the world. You've worked with so many amazing people. What advice do you have for future musicians? We have a lot here. Even my technical director, Anthony, is a future musician. And I just like to pick the brains of people who have been successful and have traveled the roads of the music industry and the world of music. What advice do you have for someone trying to break in? Because the industry's changed a lot within the last few years.
It is.
How should someone approach it?
It's not like it was in the older days, because it was new and there's different things. What had happened is the internet came involved, and it's almost so you can almost do it all yourself. With the all the technology today, you can go out and get just a nice little digital recording system, and it's so clean. You could almost do it yourself. Your own
So you don't
record
even
album.
need the major
Yeah, I mean,
companies
it's
anymore.
scary because it's almost down to that. You know, sure, it's nothing like the big $1 million studios. It's so precise in technique, but you get such good quality on a smaller scale right now. It's scary.
Yeah.
But it's the way it is. The whole thing is, though, it comes down to the song. You got to believe in the song. You got to tell a story, and just give it the passion and the delivery that it calls for. Not what you want to play in the song, but what the song is calling for.
Okay. So the
What
song takes
what the
on
song's
its own
about, yeah.
life.
What is the
sort of.
song about? Digest that, and then come out with the feeling and the way you play it,
Okay.
or deliver it, and sing it, or you know. And you don't have to be the greatest singer, the greatest guitar player, or nothing. That has nothing to do with it. A great song's a great song, no matter what.
All right, and
Yeah,
you have plenty
whoever
of them.
plays it, yeah.
And Gary, thank you so much for being with us today. We're going to take a little break, and then we'll talk with the band, and then we'll have a little unplugged session.
Sounds
I'm very
good.
excited. All right, we'll be right back. Stick around.